Hello everybody, and welcome back to Simulation Section. It's me. Hi. Welcome. I didn't really have a intro prepped, to be honest. I really do need to get that sorted. But anyway, welcome to something that we're going to be doing, I think, in OMSI 2 is a little bit of a theme for the next few videos. See how people like it. If people like it, we'll make it a little bit more of a permanent thing. It's going to be sort of a challenges series where when I drove the Bendy bus in the previous OMSI 2 video, I really enjoyed driving it. I really did, and I did say in the video, would anybody be interested in me sort of taking Bendy buses that we have? We have the lovely O530G, we have the B8RLA, and possibly other Bendy buses, we'll see how we go. But taking vehicles that you wouldn't usually take on certain routes. Seeing how they manage, seeing how they cope, from the perspective of myself, someone that has driven Bendy buses in real life, such as the actual real Bendy #1 that we're driving now. I've actually driven this thing in real life. So, in this video, we are on Strathshire. I do like a bit of Strathshire from time to time, and I thought it would just be nice to start off with something that I'm quite familiar with, and a map that I do absolutely love. It's been out for a few years now, but it's always a nice map to drive. So in this video, we're going to take this on the 28. So no, I'm not going with like the 69A and the 69C. I'm going with the 28 because I know that this has a nice variety of turns. It has a nice variety of housing estates, tight bits in the hospital and bits like that. And I thought it would be quite a nice route to start this with. And it's also a bit of a throwback. So, choosing the liveries for the Bendy buses, and unfortunately, as we have discussed previously, because these Bendy buses are very much neglected in the OMSI world, there's not that many repaints out there for them. However, I did manage to find this one of City Transport BG58OLR, X First Bus Bendy Bus 11101, otherwise known as Bendy #1. This vehicle served its entire life in York, operating on the Park and Ride services, and is now up with City Transport up in the North East. It is branded for the Sunderland Connect service that City Transport operate up there. And the other one that I drove more recently, Bendy #3, doesn't have this branding. This one does, and I haven't driven this one for quite a while because it has been up in Sunderland ever since the route started. So we'll get these lovely people on, get ourselves all set up, and then it's time to make a move. Just for the record as well, the spawn point for this is over there. Yes, I did drive this into this bus stand. Not the most perfect parking in the world, but I am quite happy with myself. Now I thought, whilst we've got a little bit of a lull period between map releases, I thought with the sort of publicly released maps I've got, I am going to put my arrows on because it has been a while since I've driven this route. I do very much know where it goes, but I thought better to be safe than sorry. I thought with the work in progress variations I've been given of various different maps by good friends of mine, people within the game that is always really cool, the development side. Between them and some of these public released ones, some of the more recent ones, some of the more backdated ones, I thought we could make a nice little mini-series with driving Bendy buses. I will be keeping an eye out as to how people do enjoy this series. If you do enjoy it, if you've got to this point in the video, or you've possibly found me because you've seen this video and gone, yeah, he seems alright, it's a northerner, it seems okay, it's a nice northerner, we're not all scary up north, then do click that like button. That way I know you've enjoyed the video, that way more people can find the video, and if you have just found me, hello and welcome, make sure you subscribe. We've got quite a lot of people on the channel at the moment, finding the channel, watching the odd video and not subscribing, so make sure you subscribe, and if you do really enjoy what you see, you can also check out my main channel, and more central, where I do all the real life stuff, including real life Bendy bus driving. It wasn't so long ago that there was a video released on the channel of me driving an incredibly rare Scania N94 UA fusion-bodied bendy bus. Not something I ever thought I'd personally drive. I was incredibly on cloud 9 when I was driving that. Very much on cloud 9 with it. Very happy about having the opportunity to drive that bus. There might be a chance, maybe a chance of me driving what I believe could be the very, very, very last B7 LA chassis right fusion in existence, a type of vehicle that I grew up with, and there might be an opportunity for me to drive the very last one of them. But more on that on the main channel as and when we get to that point. You do have to be very mindful of your mirrors. You don't want to take those off, but on the tires they do stick out, as you can see. So I'd rather be ever so slightly further away from the curb, just to be wary. There we go. Now, for those of you that were wanting more videos from the Sheffield Tramrats, my apologies that I didn't film too many. It was a mix of factors, a very, very mix of factors. I had initially planned to film a bit more than I did. I filmed the Scania on the last day that I did driving on it because I thought that's really cool, and I wanted the opportunity to showcase that to you all in a video, but I didn't do anything else on it this time round. Unfortunately, whilst it was going on, that was during the period that Yorkshire Buses closed down. So for those of you that have seen on the channel, on the video, Yorkshire Buses closed down. I've been there 2.5 years. So unfortunately that was a little bit stressful because I was having to sort out the admin for my own vehicles that I have and getting them places and getting them settled in. Still quite a lot to do on that behind the scenes. Shout out to young Harry and the team that are currently over cleaning up one of the buses as we speak. I'm having a day off today because it's been a hectic few weeks, as you're about to find out, but a big shout out to them. So the buses are fine, they're all good. I did mention that in the video, but the buses are fine. It's just there's a lot of headache making sure they were sorted, and a big thanks to people who stepped in to help. Very, very much so. But as I say, from literally everything from cleaning to driving to giving me a lift up there to offering to look after the buses, offering to do work on them, absolutely everybody's been amazing. Alongside that, I've also had a few health things recently behind the scenes. I'm not going to discuss it too much, but the basic summary is I'm fine, I'm okay. It was just a little bit of a scare, and a little bit of a scare. A few bits have been put in place, but I'm fine. It was something that I've been ignoring for a while, and this is why they always say if you see anything or anything that's concerning you, go and see a doctor, go and have a test done. That I'm very much the living proof of that at the moment. So do go and get your test done. I am okay. I'm alright, obviously. The health side, I've had a bit of a knock to my mental health at the moment. That just says something on service for some reason. So I am okay. It's just a lot has gone on. That's why there weren't many videos filmed. That's why I've not been as active as usual on sort of the YouTube side. I will be entirely honest. I'm hoping to get back there soon. I've got some exciting plans I'm putting in place for the Handball Central channel as we go into the summer. Some very exciting things there. I do also have a very exciting opportunity that has presented itself to me that does relate to the YouTube. That is very tight to get a Bendy through. Easy peasy. So we'll stay over here because from memory that car will just cut straight across. So if we stay here, nobody else can get past me and no one's going to cut across. But yeah, what else have I had as well? So I've had other bits. I'm working on a personal thing behind the scenes away from the buses at the moment. And that's been taking a lot out of me currently. A lot. So that's also wiped me out. So it's just been a period where I've just seemingly not stopped. I really haven't stopped. And I'm used to quite a busy lifestyle, don't get me wrong, but I'm not used to this much all sort of happening at once. I think that's what's really got me this time, is sort of I'm used to things like this happening. I mean, the closure of Yorkshire buses, yes, it was an incredibly sad affair, but I've been through the closure of a bus company already, so I kind of knew what to expect. But it was that, then it was obviously having to deal with the background of the buses, which I was having to deal with before, and then it was dealing with the health side that I'd been ignoring, and then a few other external factors going on as well, putting a bit more pressure on me. So there's been quite a lot of stuff, just quite a lot of stuff at the moment. We will get there, we very much will get there, but hopefully, as I say, get there sooner rather than later. As I say, on that note, as I know I've already said it, but do please support what we're doing on here if you do enjoy it. When I say that, I mean subscribe to the channel if you want already. Do click the like button on the videos, because it does always help growing this channel. I do seriously enjoy filming these videos. I really do, because I just like driving a virtual bus, very low stakes, driving a virtual bus and having a bit of a laugh and a bit of a moan and a bit of story time. And if you are enjoying that, then yeah, this is the place for you. Do please support it so we can keep growing, so I can spend a little bit more time doing these videos. I've not forgotten I'm driving a Bendy bus yet. That I'm quite happy with. I've not forgotten as of yet. As you can see, when you're driving a Bendy bus, even virtually, there's a lot more mirror action compared to driving a conventional bus. Even in the virtual world, you have to be very, very mindful of all the sort of mirror action. You have to do a lot of mirror action, because it's not just making sure that you plan for you getting through, it's making sure you plan for the trailer to get through. And again, it's like distances and bits like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, AI traffic and OMSI can be AI traffic and OMSI. However, cars going right to the backside, or cars not realising where to go, believe me, that is a standard affair when driving a Bendy bus. I mean, something that we had when we were on the tram replacements is, to start with, I didn't have to go anywhere near a Bendy bus. I just wasn't bothered. I was going, like, obviously I'd had Yorkshire buses and I had all that. It was just like, and it just put me in a standard bus. Let everybody else have a little drive at Bendy buses. I just want something easy. So I ended up driving the Vintage Citara, ended up driving the DB300, ended up driving the Scania Omnidecker, just to name a few. So ended up driving a few various bits and bobs. So I ended up driving a few various bits and bobs, and then I ended up with the Bendy. And when I drove the Bendy, as I have mentioned in that video of me driving the Scania Fusion, if you haven't already, I highly recommend going to watch that video. If you've got any childhood relations to a Bendy bus, you will sort of understand when you watch that video. You will sort of envision it and see aspects of that, and you look and go, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I remember that, or I've seen that, or I remember as a young, and like for me, the Fusion bodywork, I remember when I was growing up, I used to see the B7LAs all the time. The original WCWRs, when I was very, very young, hospital appointments and things I'm reliably informed, I used to travel on those when they were operating in Bradford to the hospital, but I don't remember much of that. So I went on those WCWR batch. Then we had some WDWXs that were based out of Leeds, so they ended up doing the 95 Bodlington Halls, the number ones, and then they were painted into Olympia, and I remember when they were painted in Olympia, one of them did the 72, the Hyperlink, and I remember just being in the right place, right time. I really need to dig that photograph out, I really do. So for me, the Fusion bodywork really had it, and it was an absolute pleasure to drive as that vehicle. I personally preferred it over driving the Citaros. Most people love these, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy driving them, and they are a breeze to drive. Once you're a bit more confident driving an articulated bus, they are a breeze. However, it was sort of one of these where, can they actually get past me? That is the question. Yeah, they should be able to. So I'm going to just hang on here and do the sensible thing, and let them crack on, and then make my way around, instead of forcing your way. For the sake of a couple of seconds, there's no need to do that. Not to say, don't you be making a fuss. Everybody else managed to get around just fine. Move slightly away so we're not hitting that trailer. That trailer's not bouncing onto the curb. But I personally preferred driving it to these Mercs. I think it was just a bit of the driving position. It was my familiarity with the scan your dashboard with a few sort of right Volvo hybrid features as well. So that was like really relatable. This is nice and tight. Although, just like in real life, if you set it up to start with, you do tend to get fined. That was a little bit of a struggle, we'll be honest. As you could see there was a little bit of a curb mount on the front. Bit tight, obviously not intended for an articulated bus, but we do like a challenge, don't we? So we might, and I don't want to say it, but this might be the bit where we end up on the curb. On the back, and I don't really want to end up on the curb on the rear if I can help it, but I do think we are going to struggle to get round. This was the only bit I was a little bit like we might actually struggle. I mean, there's no harm in consciously reversing, because as you can see with my bend, I do have a little bit of leeway. I mean, it very much is trying to moan about it, that I don't quite know why, because yes, we are close, but we're not that bad. And let's see if we can get a nice screenshot. As you can see, look at where the tyre marking is. I did the turn pretty spot on. I think the only thing I'd have done in future is probably moved it over to the left ever so slightly before moving it right. But I'm still pretty happy with myself there. I still think we've overall done okay. I am very much looking forward to my colleagues who drive Bendy buses to tell me otherwise. But I was pretty impressed with that, to be honest. I think we did okay. So let's get a bit more zoomed in. Again, shout out to IMX. IMX is getting a lot of credit in these videos at the moment for the map tools feature to get better screenshots. We're going to get rid of that bus stop marker in the background because we don't want that. And there we go. And I think that very much conveys what we are trying to achieve in this video. The tightest turn. I mean, to be fair, this is tight, even in like a double decker if you don't get your angles right. So there is also never any harm when driving a bus like this. Never any harm to just take it steady. It's a lot less embarrassing, even in the virtual world, to take it steady rather than absolutely booting it and something going wrong. I mean, we've not got a good line for this, unfortunately. Then again, we also don't have anybody getting. So you're going to want the bus. Because again, this is an issue with this particular stop. Is in a vehicle like this. Don't get me wrong, I probably could have taken that a bit wider, I think. But in a vehicle like this, especially with the tight bends, you do struggle to genuinely line it up so people get on. Because if you're not lined up to that curve, they are not interested. So there's nobody else getting off, so we've done all of that. And now we'll go again. A little bit of curve action, we don't want that. We're better in the cab, actually. I don't quite know why I've just gone outside. got to say, I was just waiting for that van to come round that bend then. Just waiting. There's a lot of concentration. But I would say confidently, I think we've done quite well with that actually. I've mounted more curbs round there in double deckers than I have driving this round there. That I do think is very much held by the Bendy bus and having the bend in the middle, sort of the bendy element of the bus. I think something that's as a misconception is people argue that bendy buses are less manoeuvrable than a rigid sort of 12-metre single decker bus, which is a lie. I mean, quite an obvious misconception. Because if you think about it, you've got the bend in the middle. Yes, these are 18 metres in length. However, you are split into two, so it means that you can get these round tighter bends that we would have genuinely struggled in a 12-metre round there. I do think in a P7R Elite we'd have definitely clipped more curbs than we did. Yes, I do think with some practice I could probably get round there without clipping any curbs, I will be entirely honest. But unfortunately, life and other things that are going on permits me from spending hours going round there to perfection. So unfortunately that will have to do. It's about as realistic as it is. Just trying our best. I love how the bell's that loud on this that you can hear it outside. So this is a left path conversion that was made many years ago by Lola the 21 Studios. It was someone that was involved quite a lot in the OMSI community for a period. I don't know how much involvement they have now. They converted this to left path. It was originally a freeware right path vehicle that had been in OMSI since pretty much the dawn of time. Had quite a few updates to it over the periods of time. It had quite a lot, so that's why it does actually look pretty decent. The dash is still decent, but you can tell in parts that it is an old model to, let's say, like Blueprint Production B9, for example. So this will be a nice extra challenge for us. If we've got, oh no, we've not got any parked cars here today, so that's fine. So what I love about the joys of parked cars in this is they are random. So, like when you're driving this, you genuinely don't know where they're going to be, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy that sort of random element of it. Let's see how we're doing for time. So we're only a couple of minutes late actually. So we've been quite consistent. We did leave a couple of minutes late from the interchange, so we've been very consistent on this route. And again, I love Strathshire because you do get a lot of leeway with the timings. So the timetable, you aren't going around like a nutcase. You are actually able to have enough time to get round. You're not stressing. You're not panicking. You're actually getting to enjoy it. That was something I remember with Cranley when we first started driving that. I did find that my sort of traffic levels and things must have been on quite high, and my passenger levels must have been on a high level because we just ended up like running 15-20 minutes late in those first few videos, and I've driven it since and we didn't have that same problem. So it was just one of those things that it was just really random how late we ended up being, but since then I've not really had that same problem. It's never a good sign when you miss these lights. It never is. Some things never change, and this is one of them. When you miss these lights, it's never a good sign. I do really like the livery. The livery is a freeware as well that you can download. I do really like the livery. I think it looks nice. It's much nicer having, as I said, there's not that many liveries for this, but there are a couple. If you do look out there and you put the right buzzwords into like Fellas Film and on other forums, there are a few repaints, and there's a few repaint packs which do include the Bendy bus. There's not many, unfortunately. Now, one of my gripes of driving a Citaro is the position of the handbrake, like the parking brake. The position down there, I'm just as like with how I drive and being like 6'3", and being quite a tall person, my driving position is a bit different to some other people's. So I find like it incredibly annoying where that position of that handbrake is. I think if it had been a little bit higher and sort of on this ledge there where the cup holder is, it would have been a lot nicer positioning for me personally. Some people would say differently, but because I'm used to either having the parking brake handbrake on the dashboard or I'm used to having it down there, for me having it sort of down that little gully down there where like near where my foot goes for the accelerator is just like a bit inconvenient. Personally, as I say, everybody's different, and that's my personal take. God, that ground's looking bright today. Goodness me. So I'm gonna have to just pull it just a smidge forward. There we go. And there we go. All the doors and everything's on. Again, probably could have parked ever so slightly better and tucked it in a bit more, but I was like, we're at the last stop. I don't really want to mount it on the curb, because I do feel like that would have gone against the entire point of this video and what we tried to achieve, which I think would have been a bit more annoying. So we have made it here. We made it. Yay! How exciting! So yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. It was nice and fun. If you have enjoyed this sort of video on this idea of us taking Bendy buses on routes that you don't tend to take them on that much, and that different perspective, and the perspective from me as someone that does drive articulated Bendy buses, not something that many people can say nowadays, unfortunately, in the UK. That's really sad. But from my perspective, if you'd like to see things like this, please do let me know. I really do like playing off my real life experiences. I feel like it makes for some good conversation. We can have a bit of a chat about it, bring in some real life examples, and then have a little bit of a chat about how it all relates to OMSI, which hopefully you have enjoyed. So do let me know. You can let me know by putting something in the comment section, sending me a comment. You can click the like button, because that way more people can find it. And hopefully more people that like this sort of video will be able to see it. And you can subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. I really look forward to seeing you all in the next video I make. Goodbye for now. Bye.